Tell us a little bit about the courses that are available online, and then of course what will be available in August as well, because I know that there is such a hungry appetite for it. And also once you've done that, talk a little bit about why this is so important to businesses and how it actually saves them money instead of costing them money, because you and I have talked about that before we started.
Yeah. So MHFA start with a basic half-day aware, which is a light touch, just skates very briefly over what some of the main mental health illnesses are and how to have those sort of basic conversations. Everything that MHFA does is underpinned by something called ALGE. So it talks about what that is. So the A is for, it's very similar to physical first aid in many respects. So it's assess, approach, assist. Then it talks about listening and communicating non-judgmentally, because we're all human. We all sit in judgment. We're like, oh, did you mean to wear that? Why did they say that? And we naturally sit like that. But when somebody's in the middle of a mental health issue or crisis, they need you to park that judgment. Just because it doesn't seem like much to you, it could be the end of the world to them because it's the final straw. Then it talks about giving support and information. And again, it's information. In the same way that doing a physical first aid course doesn't mean you can then go out and perform heart surgery, as a mental health first aider, that doesn't qualify you as a counsellor or a psychologist or any of those things. It's that initial support. And then you move on to the first D, which is about encouraging professional support. So if it's, for some people, they just need that listening ear. You don't have to do all of it. You don't necessarily do it in that order. But sometimes people are going to need support from a professional, be that a counsellor or a doctor, or maybe, if it's more significant and severe, somebody like a psychologist. But it's about encouraging them to get that support. And then the final E, the one that I think is where we all can play a part, is encouraging others' support. So that might be friends, family, mental health first aid qualified people, charities, helplines. I mean, there are so many great organisations out there that people don't realise exist. And so everything is underpinned by that. So once you've done the half-day aware, so if that's where your sort of base level entry is, that's great. But for some organisations, maybe they want to upskill more than that, or they want to have their managers more trained. And then you'd go into the one-day course, which makes you a mental health champion. And that's ideal for line managers who maybe aren't going to do more intensive support of somebody who's got a mental health illness or issue, but they want to be more aware, they want to know how to handle those conversations about performance at work or other things that might occur without making that problem worse. And that focuses a lot more on the business side of things, why that makes that good business. And then the flagship is the 2-day face-to-face course, which makes you a mental health first aider in much the same way as doing the 2-day course would make you a physical first aider. And then, currently online, you can do the half-day aware if you just want to just have a light touch, better understanding of sort of what mental health issues might be at the moment. Or there's the online course, which is the equivalent of the 2-day face-to-face. And that has 4 live sessions, so 8.5 hours over 4 sessions spent online with your instructor, doing various activities, talking through things as a group. And then there are 4 lots of learning activities that you have to, not onerous, and we don't sort of mark you and send you naughty notes if you haven't sort of performed as well as you think you should have done. But you have to do that as well, so that when you come to the session, you've got some knowledge which we then expand upon to take your learning that bit deeper.